Okay, so I finally finished the design, finished the prototyping of this phone case. So I'm going to show you how to process it quickly. So I have a few black pieces printed and I have a few clear pieces printed, and that's just for variety, just for me to pick which one I want to use. So here's my Samsung S23 Ultra. It's the 1TB edition, Phantom Black. It's wonderful, and I got a tempered glass with UV cured resin stuck on it, because if I drop it, I'd rather have the tempered glass break rather than the actual screen itself. So it's protected, but what I don't like about these phones is they're so freaking smooth, and this is going to drop in no time. And the way I designed these cases is for them to have multiple functionalities. So I have the finger ring, because I like to grip my phone with the ring, and this also acts as a stand as well, so you could have the phone standing from the side. I have a magnet that you can attach to, for example, fridges, and this works together with this mount here. So this mounts to devices. For example, I have a DJI running, for example, here, and I designed this attachment tool. Let's check it out. So like when it's finished, it locks in place like that. It goes in, other way around, it goes in like that and locks in place. And the magnet here reinforces that. There's a magnet here, and there would be a magnet here as well. And I'll show you that as I move along. But starting at the top, we're gonna have to process this a little bit. So after it's printed, as I print with PETG is a little bit stringy, as you can see here. It's got some leftover strings, so we clear that up using a lighter. So we'll have the printed pieces. There's 5 printed pieces in total. This is the front. Then you have the protective layer, and you have the protective layer go here. And this is because we have a credit card slot in here, and we'd rather have the protective layer get scratched rather than the phone, because the phone is of high value, and if you want to resell it later on, it's better to have the protective layer scratched rather than the phone itself. So we have that here. This is only 3 layers, so 0.06 millimeters, and then we have the middle layer, which is as the credit card slot. So you can see there's a little slot in here that goes up to here. So 1, 2, 3, and then the rear element is this, and that's where the metal ring goes in here, and the magnet goes in here. I also have this here because I just wanted to alternate colors. You don't want to print a bridge on top of that because that would droop, so it's better just to print these separately. So it just goes in like that. I have already processed this piece and this piece, so I'm not going to do that, and this piece. Before you start using the lighter, just pick it up with your hands, any like prominent pieces with your hands. This shouldn't take too long. For all the pieces, it should take around 10 minutes, maybe 15. But it's you should definitely before you actually assemble it together, just to make it neater. So for example, we want to look for areas like that. You see, so here, so this printed flat like this, so on top here, and as you can see, it obviously needs to bridge around here, 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 here. Now I printed this at very high temperature, 250 degrees, because I'm printing it with PETG, and I'd rather have pieces stuck together very tight, very securely, because this is supposed to be protective, and you don't want pieces to detach from the layers, for example. So to clear this poor bridging here, this bridging didn't go too well, just use nail scissors for example, just to like slice it, or you could use an X-Acto knife. Where's my X-Acto knife? I have some. Yes, so you could use this. Just be very careful not to cut yourself. Might be better to use this. I just cut myself like an idiot. Yes, obviously this is on you. You need to be very careful how you handle things. What you do is not my responsibility. See, that comes up nicely.
It's all about humanity.
Nicely. Shit, I'm bleeding. That is my responsibility, so I cut myself slightly. Cut myself is my responsibility. You are responsible for your actions like I am for mine.
It's all about humanity.
So that's the most prominent areas, just the bridges, I think. And after that, so for using a lighter on light materials like clear or white, you should be very, very quick, so don't hold it for long. So look how quick I do it. Per one area, let it cool down, let it cool down, let it cool down, let it cool down. So then pick it up with your fingers again, use your fingers. And again, since it's cooled down, you can go over it again. And then so the holes, for example, here, 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 here. So that's 7 holes, right? So this is printed like that. The front side would be down. So for the screws, there's a sacrificial layer here, and supports are built in, so the bolt would go inside here. There's a sacrificial layer, so you need to use either this little scissors or an X-Acto knife. Put it in there and just do a little circle to make sure it cuts it out, basically. So now the bolts can go right in, and this is M3 bolts and nuts that we use. And for this phone case, there's 7 bolts and nuts in total. 7 each, so 7 bolts and 7 nuts. And the reason I've used this system like bolts and nuts is because I really like the industrial look. Let's do one more. Ow! Keep stabbing myself. Yeah, you need to be very careful. I'm quite rushing because I've got stuff to do, but yeah, you should take your time. Watch your fingers, unlike I am. So anyway, got all the holes here. That's done. I'll need this. I won't be using this. I'll put that away. I'll be using this. I'll be using that, and I'll be using that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Oh wait a minute. I won't be using the clear one. No. Yeah. So yeah, I'll be using the black one. I won't need this. I got 2 of them. I don't need that. So that's for my 5 pieces. That, and the bolts. So now we're pretty much ready. You can see here, there is a slot. Well, it's a 0.4mm perimeter, and that is there. So it could slot inside. You can see it here, here, and here. So that, have a look at here. So it should fit in place, and it fits in perfectly.
It's all about humanity.
So it doesn't move at all. This is to keep the phone more rigid once it's secured, because if it didn't slot into these, it would do this, and you don't want the case to do that. So look, one more time. Align it with the top and then sides, and then it sits in place. And then once the phone is in there, it won't really do this. It does slightly now, but that's because the phone isn't there. So let's start assembling it. So get your phone. So we have the buttons here. See? Now these buttons are quite thin. You see the joining area here is only around 2 perimeters, so 0.08 millimeters, so around 1 millimeter. And this is so the buttons are easily clickable. So we insert the button side inside to the side first, and then the other side in, and then it goes in. Look how nasty that is. Look at that. And then check the buttons. They work perfectly. So then we put on the protective layer. Give the phone a quick blow. Just make sure there's no dust. Protective layer goes on top. Look at that. Nice on the textured sheet. So that when we're going to have the credit card, it slides and scratches the protective layer rather than the phone itself. We get the rear cover, which is the credit card slot side, and just align it with the camera holes. And you see it aligns with those slots perfectly. There's no gap or anything. It's just perfect. Mwah. Perfect. Love it. And yeah, and now we're gonna do this side. So yeah, 30 millimeters by 5. 30 millimeters by 5 millimeters, yeah. So 3 centimeters by 0.5 centimeters. And before I put it in, so I use the other side. Let's just check the orientation of the magnet, the north to south pole. So it's gonna attach like that. So it would be basically like that. The back of the phone. Where is it? Like that. So check it. Yep, it's like that. So it goes in here. Nice and tight. It's ready. Nice and flat. And then we start putting it on. And then we get our screws. I have 2 lengths. One is 20.76 from top to bottom, and without the head it's around 18 millimeters. No, 17.5 millimeters. So that's the long one, and the short one is 60.10 with the head, or 12.8 without the head. Yep, and they're all 3 millimeters. So start with the long ones, so we have all the pieces together. Just need to do the holes here. Be careful not to scratch your phone, very important. Because, well, I showed you how to do that here, but I haven't done the black one. But I want to use the black one for this.
It's all about humanity.
Yeah, for my front, so it looks seamless. I'll have it black. In the rear, I want it to be clear, so you could see the black side through the holes, which is quite cool like that, I think. Be very careful as you do this. You can see, like, you see the black, all the black details. It's quite nice like that. And I want this to be clear so you can see the metal and the magnet underneath. It's quite nice like that as well. Oh, I forgot this piece, damn it. Basically all I needed to do was just put this in here. That's what I forgot to do. Align it. I'm only going to use a drill because it's just going to speed things up for the video. So remember, this is only the long ones. And you can over torque this, it doesn't matter too much, because this isn't threaded, this is just plastic. Okay, so let's do the back. We're gonna do these after. And then we put in the nut. Now I'm gonna do this manually, because now you don't want to over torque it, because we've got a metal nut and you don't want to break it, which you can do if you use the screwdriver. Well, I mean, not the screwdriver, the what's it called? Drill. Yeah, so don't do that. Is it not pressure on? Doesn't feel like it is. Isn't it all the way? 1 second. Got it. So why isn't it going in? If it's not going in, there might be some of the bridges, they might be getting in the way. The plastic bridges. Yeah, I can see the plastic that was getting in the way. There we go, got it. This one not going in either. Oh! That was a bit dangerous.
It's all about humanity.
So now we've got that. And now we can do the corners. Let's see, it's sticking out here a bit.
It's all about humanity.
Because obviously the printed bridges, it would get in the way.
It's all about humanity.
Just be very, very careful if you use a drill, not to drill into your phone. Okay, so we've got the holes for the nuts. That's in, perfect. Got it. There we go.
All about humanity.
So that's all of them. And now for the finger ring, you just open it up and then push it into the hole. Done. See if it fits nicely.
It's all about humanity.
Look how good that looks. And it feels all smooth. Well, not as smooth as the original phone. It feels good to hold, but like the edges are pretty nice. Like once it's processed, it's nice. And it's much more grippy. And I love holding phones like this, for example. So let me just show you the functionality. Now I've got a credit card holder here. And you pull it out with friction, really. And it's not gonna fall out. If this is too tight, like if you can't remove it, just loosen the screws up a little bit. And it might come out easier. Or if it's too loose, do the opposite, so tighten them slightly. Well, say I got my DJI RS3 and I need to monitor. Yeah, the magnet is really strong, see? And now my phone is here. So I got the same mount on my bike, for example. And remove it like that. Or say you got metallic surface like a fridge or somewhere outside. You want to stick it on. Bam. And this acts like a phone stand as well, so like stands like that, and it has a click-in position too, so it could be even steeper. And it's got two protrusions here, so you could have it on the side as well. Flat bottom, like that. But it's supposed to stand on this side because there's two protrusions here rather than one in the middle. Buttons click nicely. We've got a hole for the speaker. Is that a sensor? I know there's a hole here. It's either one of the microphones maybe. S23 Ultra has two speakers, has one here, and I think it's underneath the screen somehow. I don't know how that works, but it does. And all the cameras have no obstructions at all. Like, I don't know if you can see? I can't really show you. Like, okay, I'll try to show it like this. So wide. The wide, you can see every single corner, there's no obstructions. But yeah, this is just perfect. I love this, like the way I designed it, and I love the aesthetic look to it as well. This is a bit tight, I'm not sure. And the flash, of course. Flash, where's the flash? Torch. There we go. See, it doesn't get in the way at all either. And with a clear printed piece, I really like the effect as well. Turn off the flash, torch. Well, yeah, I love it. Perfect. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you like it, please do leave a comment and a like. That would really help me to reach another audience, maybe.
It's all about humanity.
Yeah. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching. And check this out. This is all the pieces that I have to go through for prototyping it until I get it right. So many of them. The first one I designed for the Asus ROG Phone 2, that was even way worse, which was this one. Like, the amount that I went through was incredible. There's got other pieces in there for prototyping other stuff as well, but yeah, that was quite a lot.
It's all